Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back another video. So a lot of things happened last night on Raw, and there's probably a couple things I got videos I gotta put out from some of the stuff that happened last night on Raw, um, before the show and after the show, or during the show. But I'm gonna go with the stuff that happened during the show, and that was the big announcement that Triple H came out and made. And there's a lot of speculation and a lot of innuendo on what is going to go on here from this big announcement fallout. But here's the facts of the matter that we know now. Triple H came out and made an announcement that there will be a new World Heavyweight Championship belt, which this is the design right here, as you guys can see on my screen right here. This is the World Heavyweight Championship. This title will be the world title on whatever brand does not draft Roman Reigns. Now, Triple H says from this draft, whichever brand that Roman Reigns goes to, he will take the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship with him to that brand, and he will stay there and basically defend it exclusively there. And then the other brand will basically have a new World Heavyweight Championship, which this is the design right here. So what are my thoughts on the belt design? Because you guys know I'm very, very much of a critic when it comes to the modern day WWE belt designs. Well, I'm not going to say that this belt design is absolutely horrible, and it is a much better design than a lot of the other past couple of designs that they've made for the championship belt. I do still think it sucks as a design. But again, it is the best design I have seen from WWE in a while. I will say that. I do like that they put the globe in the middle. I think the globe's a little too big, because obviously this is supposed to be based off of the big gold belt. This is supposed to be like a modern day big gold belt design from the original big gold that they had in WCW, and obviously even before WCW, NWA, Jim Crockett Promotions, and then of course when WWE had it from 2002 to 2013. So while the WW logo that WWE has plastered over the globe is not nearly as big as the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship, it's still big, and it's still something that I don't like. I will always defend the fact that I do not like logos in the middle. I have been against them since John Cena's spinner belt. I have never liked the logos in the middle. I've never liked them huge in the middle. I have never liked them in the middle, period. I hate them. I hate them. And before people say something, do you hate AEW's logo in the middle? Yes, I do. I do not like AEW's logo in the middle. I do not like UFC's logo in the middle. I do not like the logos in the middle. I've never liked them. I wish they would die. I hate them in there. I hate the idea that the logo has to be in the middle. I've always been small font on the top, just like the Attitude Era title, just like the Winged Eagle title had it, just like all previous titles, just like all the titles prior to the spinner belt. I've always liked the title always on the top, in the sides. In the small size, I've never been a fan of this bullshit idea that the logo has to be in the middle. Though I will say I am glad that the logo is not as big as the WWE Championship design and the Universal Championship designs. Because again, they are pretty shitty, as we all know. That being said, I do like the modern take that they went here. They kind of, for the most part, kind of, with the logo plates in there instead of the name plates. They kind of went with the inspiration of the big gold belt in the background, which is why they don't have just the WW logo plastered everywhere. It actually looks like a belt. It's not just like, oh, we're going to have the logo plastered and then not have nothing else, on it. They actually have a full plaque. They have the gold in there, like the big gold. So I do like that. It's a modern take of the big gold. And that's what they went for. They clearly had the inspiration of the modern big gold, which, obviously a lot of us are huge fans of the big gold. The big gold is a huge title, and everyone loved that title. Everyone still loves that title to this day. And obviously that's what they did here. They went for a modern look of the big gold. Now, there's a couple questions that are coming out here, and even I'm kind of confused on it. I tried to rewatch the scene, or the speech that Triple H made, to kind of try and get into what he's specifically saying, because there's a lot of confusion going on. So, based on what Triple H said, I believe, and this is also based on how they've been doing this. So there's two major questions, and I'm going to talk about how I think they're going to go. The first question is this World Heavyweight title continuing the lineage from the old World Heavyweight title that retired in 2013? Or is this a complete new lineage of belt history? I am leaning towards that this will not be a new lineage, that this will continue from where Randy Orton left off when he was the last World Heavyweight Champion, when he won the title from John Cena to unify that title with the WWE Championship. Because, and here's why I believe this, because Triple H flat out introduced this title. He called it the World Heavyweight Championship, just like the one from before. He designed it like a modern day version of the big gold belt. So obviously there was a lot of inspiration there. So to me, I do think this is considered a part of the lineage of the old title, just with a new design. So that was one of the questions. Now, I could be wrong about this. WWE could be stupid and just decide to have it be considered a new title altogether. I think they'd be stupid since they already had the world title, and you can latch it onto the history of the World Heavyweight Championship since, well, as we all know, this World Heavyweight Championship, the one we're talking about that retired in 2013, dates back all the way to 1903, technically. Followed all the way to the NWAs, the Jim Crockett Promotions, to WCW, to the WWE. And this isn't the first time the title has been quote-unquote retired, since, as we all know, WWE tried to pretend that this title was retired in the WCW days. So for anybody who doesn't know the story about I'm sure a lot of you guys know about the story about Ric Flair coming to WWE, the big gold belt. WCW wanted it back because Flair demanded the $25,000 deposit, because that's how the world titles were given back then. So in the NWA back in the day, what basically happened is if you won the world title, you would put a $25,000 deposit on the title. And because of this, because Ric Flair got fired while he was in WCW, which was still affiliated with the NWA at the time, he basically took the belt with him, which is why when he came to the WWE, he was, showing the real World Heavyweight Championship belt on WWE television. Of course, this led to a lawsuit, which the WCW ultimately eventually won. So the title was returned, and then it became the international world title in WCW. Um, since they already had a new world title made, that was the active world title. Um, that title lasted for a couple of years before Flair coincidentally came back, and I believe he reunified them together. Um, then after that, um, obviously, as we all know, WCW was bought by WWE, and they basically tried to pretend that the international championship didn't exist. Like they WWE basically, when they came out with the history of the World Heavyweight Championship DVD years ago, which I still have by the way, um, and they basically tried to WWE basically tried to pretend that the international title that WCW created, because they were creating an international brand or whatever. They basically tried to pretend that that never happened. That's what they were telling everybody on the DVD, which was not true. There was an international champion. Um, but after the merger, after both the WCW title and the international title were unified, WCW continued using the big gold belt for the rest of their run in WCW. Point being is, I think there is a possibility that WWE is going to they're going to use the lineage of the world title, especially since the way Triple H was talking. Since obviously Triple H was the first WWE or World Heavyweight Champion in WWE, because the belt history lineage was a new belt history when it became a part of the WWE. So even though they latched onto the previous history of it, I think that's what they're going to do here. I think it's going to continue the lineage. I think it would be kind of dumb if they didn't, because then we could show the prestigiousness of it, of all the people that held the title beforehand. So that's what I think's happening there. Now there's another question too, and that's involving the WWE Heavyweight Championship and the Universal Heavyweight Championship. So for anybody who doesn't know, obviously shouldn't by now, Roman Reigns back in 2020 won the WWE Universal Championship, and then WrestleMania 38 beat Brock Lesnar to win the WWE Championship in a unification match for the WWE Championship. The Universal title and the WWE Championship were put on the line. Since then, once Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship, he has carried both belts. Now, even though at WrestleMania they hyped it as a unification match and advertised it as a unification match, it was not actually a unification match, because neither one of the titles were officially retired. Basically, according to WWE.com, both the WWE Championship and the WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship are still independently active, despite the fact that they're being held by one belt owner, this being Roman Reigns. Basically, the way Triple H put it, and now people are asking, is one of the titles going to be retired? That's basically the question. Based on the way Triple H worded it, I'm going to say no for now. Triple H basically said that whatever brand Roman Reigns gets drafted to, he will take the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship with him, and he will stay there. That's what he said. It was the WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship, which means both titles. That's why they say undisputed. And that's what they've been saying for the past year. So because of that, here's what I think is going to happen. Basically, what's been happening for a year now. The only difference is Roman Reigns is going to be on one brand and defending the title, both titles on one brand. Because the Universal title is the title I believe Triple H wants to retire, he is not going to officially retire that Universal title until after Roman Reigns loses it. So once Roman Reigns loses the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship, because he's defending them both at the same time, what I think's going to happen is once he loses both titles, the next champion, which I believe will be Cody Rhodes, will basically retire the Universal title champion. He'll basically be the last. The person beats Roman Reigns will be the last Universal champion, because then they'll retire that title like Randy Orton did when he retired the world title in 2013. That's what I think will happen. And here's why they're not retiring the Universal Championship, because that was the first championship that Roman Reigns won. So the 1,000-day reign that Roman Reigns is having is with the Universal Championship. And also, and a lot of people aren't bringing this up, Roman Reigns has been the WWE Champion for 387 days. And obviously, they're going to want to try to have Roman Reigns past CM Punk's 434 days as WWE Champion. So this is what I think's happening. I think he's going to continue holding both belts. It's not going to matter, because people are saying, oh, well, that means there's going to be 3 world champions. Well, not really. I mean, yeah, technically there are going to be 3 quote-unquote world champions, but there really isn't, because they're going to continue doing the same thing that they've been doing for a year, and that's having Roman Reigns have both titles. And he's going to defend both titles at the exact same time, which is what they've been doing for a year. The only difference in this equation is that instead of Roman Reigns defending it on both brands, he's only going to be defending both world titles on one brand exclusively. That's really the only difference. So really, yes, there's technically 3 world titles that are active, but in reality, there's actually only 2, because Roman Reigns is defending the Universal and the WWE Championships at the exact same time. And he will lose the titles. When he loses the titles, he will lose both titles at the exact same time. Hence why it's the undisputed Universal World, the undisputed WWE, the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion. That's why it's called that, because he's defending both belts. He has both belts. He's going to remain with both belts. And a lot of people are saying, well, why not just retire the Universal title after he gets the 1,000 days in the Saudi Arabian Night of Champions match? Simple, because if you noticed, Michael Cole keeps advertising Roman Reigns as like the 4th longest, or the 5th longest champion in WWE history or whatever. I don't know if he's at there yet, but they keep hyping that up, that only Hulk Hogan from his first title reign, Bob Backlund, Pedro Morales, and Bruno Sammartino are the only champions that have had the longer title reign than Roman Reigns as a world champion. That's basically what Michael Cole has been saying. Okay? So them retiring the Universal title after Night of Champions would be kind of dumb, because obviously he can continue all these days as champion, and possibly past. I think he's closing in on Pedro Morales. I'm not sure if he passed or he's close to Hulk Hogan's title run, because I think Pedro was only champion for 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. I know Hogan was champion for 4. Bob Backlund was champion for 6, though technically he actually did lose the title during that, but it was considered a voided match, so it technically didn't count. It was reversed into a no contest, so Backlund kept the belt. And then what else? There was the Bruno Sammartino, who was champion for 8 years his first reign, and then he was, I think, champion for 6 years in his second reign. So I think Roman is either the 6th or 5th now, if I'm not mistaken, since Bruno technically had 2 reigns as champion. I don't think he's going to pass Bruno. Like, people are saying, oh, he should keep the title until Bruno. Fuck no, that's stupid if he does. But I think I think he's either going to lose it at SummerSlam or WrestleMania 40. But then again, I thought he was going to lose it at WrestleMania 39, and that didn't happen. So who the fuck knows anymore? But anyways, that's basically why they're going to keep both world titles independently active still, until Roman Reigns loses it. Once Roman Reigns loses the title, then they're going to retire the Universal Championship, because there's no reason to continue having it since now you have the world title back. And you're not going to retire the WWE Championship because the title dates back to 1963. So, the Universal title really, since its inception in 2016, in my opinion, was an utter failure. I think the title should never have been introduced to begin with. I think they should have just brought back the World Heavyweight Championship that they currently have brought back now. That's what I think they should have brought back in 2016 over the Universal title. The Universal title had no history to it. It had no, which is another reason why I think the world title will have the lineage of the old World Heavyweight title to it. But also another thing, the Universal title pretty much has been a part-time title. I mean, let's fucking face it. It was a part-time world champion. I mean, other than, who were the only people that weren't part-time champions on that? Kevin Owens. Finn Balor was the first champion, unfortunately got injured, and his title reign was cut short. So he didn't have the title that long. He had the title for a day. So, Kevin Owens. But, outside of that, I mean, Roman Reigns kind of had it. He was full-time. And then Braun Strowman, but that was because of COVID. That he got to finally win a world title. But, I mean, 70% of the champions were part-time champions for the Universal title, and including Goldberg. Which, don't get me wrong, I like that they put the title on Goldberg, at the time. I thought it was kind of a feel-good story. But if you look back on these titles, title reigns, for the most part, 70% of the champions for the Universal title were part-timers, and now Roman is kind of a part-timer now. He wasn't at the beginning of his reign, but he obviously is now. So, once Roman eventually loses both titles, just retire the Universal title, which I think they're going to. Like I said, I think the Universal title is only going to continue because Roman Reigns is the current champion. Once he loses it, then they can officially retire it. But they're not going to then. Cody Rhodes will only have the Universal title for a day. Once he wins it from Roman, I hope he wins it from Roman. And then he has the WWE Championship, and then he can bring back the Winged Eagle or whatever, a modern design of the Winged Eagle, maybe like what they did with this World Heavyweight title. I'm kind of afraid to think about that though. Since again they still have the logo too goddamn big. But I do, like I said, I like that they put the globe in the middle because I am a big opponent of the globe in the middle, but I do not like the logo in the middle. I like the logo on the top with a little small font, and then the globe in the middle. But I wish they could have. I don't know. I think the globe may have been a little big, the globe I think is a little bit too big though. I mean, I like it, but I also think it should be a little smaller than that. But the logo, I hate the logo like that. I hate the logo in there. Overall, the World Heavyweight Championship design, in my opinion, is the best design that they have done since they started doing these stupid logo plate belt designs. But that's not saying that much. But I guess it's the best we're going to get from WWE since, the designs are cheesy to begin with. But nonetheless, that's my thoughts on this, and that's my thoughts on what's going to happen going forward and my theories on this. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate. If you like this video, my videos, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell for all the latest contents. And that's about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku. I'm out of it. Peace. Also, make sure, besides my YouTube channel, unsubscribing, to follow me on Twitch, SS Ultimate Goku, Instagram, the SS Ultimate Goku, as well as my Discord link where we talk about sports, wrestling, football, anime dubs, cartoons, live action shows, live action movies, etc. So make sure to check that out. And now I'm out. Peace.